Hey guys, we did a lot of landscaping this past quarantine, and we're gonna show you how we did it. So basically, we had just river rocks and like dirt in the middle with a lot of just these bushy plants, and we wanted to renovate that in a way. So we put all of these river rocks, or so you call them, like in the borders, and we put all these rocks, which are called goose eggs, that are about 1.5 inches. And we did a lot of trimming to like these bushy trees, and we put these perennial trees everywhere, and we mulched them. We did a lot of stuff here, and we also put some mulch over there. And below the rocks, there's this sheet, black, complete black, and the sheet prevents weeds from coming because that was our prior problem. Just there were tons of weeds everywhere, and we just wanted to stop doing all that work. So we just put the black sheet, and then that prevents the weeds, and we put goose eggs on top of them, and now we're going to show you how we did it. So here we're going to show some before and after pictures. As you can see, the befores and afters have major differences, such as the rocks and the dirt that was just there before. We trimmed a lot of the plants and bushes, and we put a lot of new plants there. And overall, it just looks nicer because it's mulched and it has new rocks, and the plants they just have a more aesthetic look when they're in the. So at the bottom of this picture, you see existing river rocks at the bottom, and you can see a lot of moss and like weeds coming into the dirt. There's just a lot of work to like do that every week. So we put this fabric, and this prevents weeds and stuff. There's some existing rocks on the side, but as I was saying, this fabric prevents like weeds and anything from coming out through the dirt, because every month or so it becomes a pain to just do it every month. And so here, one by one, we're putting the rocks, taking out the weeds, and putting the fabric on so we could mulch or rock or whatever we do. And that was also painful. And here's the little girl taking credit for stuff that she doesn't do.
What?
Never mind.
Did you dig
Uh,
that?
Yeah.
that's
With
job.
this! With this!
amazing.
Good job, Anshukari.
Anyways,
Thank you.
here we put the Alexa outside and she's dancing. Of course, I don't want her doing that until to get back to work, but she keeps on doing it anyways. And we are cutting the fabric, and that's going pretty well actually. And she's still
Why?
dancing.
Why is it stopping?
Okay, now that's over with. We put all the river rocks aside, and we are digging holes like everywhere for the perennial plants, and we're putting our secret powder, or you could say eggshells, into the hole so it like ferments the growth and makes it better. But here we're just putting the plants in, and the river rocks behind my dad are the things that we're putting on the fabric all over the sides. As you can see in the back, you saw that there was the sides getting pushed up against the wall, and we're going to do that for all the border, and it's going to look pretty nice after. So these are the plants we currently just put in, and we're going to water them. Here we're putting the fabric on the sides or borders. So we're putting staples through the fabric on the border and in the middle, just to keep them intact, and so it doesn't move. And here we're putting the river rocks back to where they were, but in a more organized fashion. And we're doing this layer by layer, just to make sure it looks nice and aesthetically pleasing. We just keep on doing this, making our way up towards like the end of the border, and we're putting more staples in to make sure this side of the part is secure. And we cut one long piece of fabric, and we're going to put rocks on it so the weeds don't grow again, which again is not very fun to pull out. Anyways, so once we finished putting on the borders, we started working on this whole side, and we're just making our way through and putting rocks wherever we can, and it's turning out to be nicer than we expected, and we really liked the way that it was looking, so we started putting staples in to put it in a definite position, and we put little holes or like a slit on that tree on the side, but in there we put a hole for to mulch it or rock it or whatever we were going to do. We were going to plan that out later, which we did, and we just keep on putting rocks on the side and pushed up against the wall, and it's looking pretty nice. Not gonna lie, but so here's an example of what we're doing. We first put the fabric on, and then we cut any plants or anything that's like under there. In this case, it was this tiny little rose plant, and we just cut the hole with this sparkler, and we're just gonna mulch it after. Here's another example of us doing that, but we did it straight down the middle this time, and now we're gonna cut the hole after, right there. Here's my mother doing some work. And this is just a flower hanger that we put before, and it's just gonna slide right under that fabric. So here we're just blowing off any excess dirt that we see to show you what we've done for the past few days or so. And here's the first side. It's actually coming together pretty nicely, and we plan to put some rocks or something that's going to make it look even nicer. So we see a lot of perennial plants and bushy plants, whatever they're called. I think we've already trimmed them, not quite sure though. Anyways, we're going to move on to the right side here, maybe. Here we go. And as you can see, there's a lot of tiles on the sides. If you caught those, yeah, right there. And that's leading to that hose, so we don't have to step on the rocks or mulch or whatever we decide to put there. Here we are at the store deciding what rocks we want to put. There's a wide variety, and we chose something called goose eggs. And goose eggs are kind of 1.5 inch, yeah. And we ordered 6 yards of it, and they told us to mark where we want the rocks, so we just marked it next to the basketball hoop. We had to move over basketball hoop. I wasn't very happy with that, but we did it anyways. And that's where the stone is gonna go, and here's the stone coming in. This is 6 yards, otherwise known 6 tons of rocks that we had to shovel into the front with a wheelbarrow. And that wasn't the most fun experience for me because I had to do that. But there's a lot of rocks, and that's fun. That's a lot of rocks. And here is day one. We bought a new wheelbarrow. I am wheelbarrowing it, and my mom is arranging it. And don't forget my dad, who's behind the scenes shoveling the rocks, which is really tedious. I know from experience because later on I started shoveling it, and that was not very pleasant. Anyways, here we are finishing the rocks up and we are putting mulch. The reason we're putting mulch and not the rocks is because rocks generate heat, and that was the end of day one. End of day two, I started shoveling and I started wheelbarrowing, which was also very tedious. And we just keep on working our way through. And my mom's still arranging it, and you saw my sister helping, and now she just went away for 30 seconds. As you can see, slowly but surely, the black is slowly disappearing, being covered with white stones, which I think look very nice. But this is the end of day two. And we have some more work to do. But that starts on day three, which gets harder and harder and harder. Here's day three. And we put a lot of rocks this time. We are wheelbarrowing constantly. I'm shoveling constantly, and we are arranging constantly. And we have done a lot of work on day three, mostly covering all the black, just a couple black spaces. And day four is probably going to be the day that we finish this, which it was. And we're just covering some black spots with white. And we're probably going to mulch it at the end, and it's going to look super nice. Here we are finishing up on day four. Day four, we are rearranging the rocks, and I am shoveling them. My little sister is helping me, not really. And we are just about done. And we are going to start mulching soon, I think. And yeah, we're pretty much done. I gave up for the day. Maybe not. Okay, never mind. I didn't give up for the day. Anyways, we started mulching. This is when I gave up. So we're putting in mulch again because the rocks generate heat from the sun, which is not good for the plants because too much heat will kill the plant. And we are just about done mulching and finished with our project for quarantine, and this is how it looks. We basically finished the whole thing, and it looks pretty nice, if I'm going to be honest. There's a lot of red mulch spots, and it just looks very calming in general, and honestly, it was much better than before. There was a lot of weeds, and it was just dirt, and it was very painful to take them out every month. But we got through it. We completely finished this project. And if you'd like this content, please consider giving it a like. Maybe subscribe if you really liked it. And check out some of our other videos. Thank you for watching. See ya!